for a sophomore Darius Bolden right there, you know. That guy,
he's the guy that everyone's looking at now, and it allows Sibley to slide into his Robin role for Nicolet.
Yeah, and that's definitely what you need when you have, let's just be honest, a team of superstars, you know. Some guy is going to have his night, some guy is going to have his night. When you have somebody pick up the slack for you, they're going to be great.
You know, I got to give a lot of props to Antonio Kiro, who's done a lot of work with Sibley, with Johnson, and just that whole Phenom University program. Big Steve, Paul Hill, Tony Resch. We have Marcus Hines. Just all the guys that are over there, man. They tell these guys have gotten a lot better. And I think that also Tony had a great NYLA tournament this past weekend to be able to showcase all the talent that we have here in the state. This state has a lot of talent the next couple of years.
Oh, definitely. All right, guys, we're back. Got a little technical difficulties. We got both cameras working now. Out back. That was just you guys on the sideline. You guys did a great job holding it down without me. So you continue doing this. I'm just going to chime in every once in a while. But
that's a big time in one right there for Wilder. Sorry to cut you off, Craig. But that's just a senior first team all conference move right there.
And for all those viewers out there, sorry about that. We had a little difficult. That's why when you do live anything, sometimes it goes a little array. But our great engineer and director, Andre Hicks, is able to figure out the problem, so blame him if it went wrong.
I think here Homestead, with this 50-44, but they've done a great job. They've weathered the storm. They want to be within 3 or 4 with about 3 or 4 minutes left to see how these guys react. But you're going to have to stop that monster there.
Score is 52-44, 9:49 left here in the second half. Nicolet with an 8-point lead.
Turnover. Watch this.
That could have been intentional.
That might be intentional.
He grabbed him. He didn't go for the ball. If this was the NBA, isn't that a clear pass?
I don't know. Jalen wrapped it around his back. Maybe he went for the ball. I don't believe he was trying to hurt Jalen at all. I'm interested to see what the referees call.
And it was kind of intentional.
They did call an intentional foul.
I guess I can see at first if you were actually going for the pass. Once it got around, it obviously went right at his waist. You know, he had no chance to make a play on the ball.
Even though the foul did take place on the ground, that would have been a terrible foul. He was going up in the air, and he grabbed him with 2 hands. Luckily, Jalen took the ball behind his back to kind of protect himself.
And that's just one of those big-time moves right there. Not too many guys can pull that off in a game. And if he didn't foul him, there's going to be a monstrous dunk. And this is one of those times where, yes, I would have fouled him. I would not have allowed him to get that. That would have broke open the floodgates for just a show for the next 9 minutes.
He knocks down both free throws, pushing the lead to 10, 54-44, 9:38 left here in the second half at Nicolet High School. This could be a big momentum right here. To free throws and getting the ball back. That could be a 4-point swing or a 5-point swing.
Yeah, that was a big stop by Homestead. If I'm Homestead right now, I'm gonna tell you, man, I may send Jalen gets the ball, I'm gonna send 2 or 3 at him.
He gave it to highlight he wanted the previous play. No additional foul there, and the crowd is loving it. 56-44, Nicolet leads.
Those are momentum plays. Yes, you got to get a timeout. That's a momentum play. They need to score here, and even if they score here, I may get a timeout.
3-pointers up in the corner, no good, air ball.
I think that was a good foul because at this point, with Homestead, you have 2 timeouts left for the rest of the game. So, Coach Winston as being a coach. 2 left. Would you burn it?
This is risk time for them right now. Nicolet feeds off dunks, and that was an amazing dunk by Johnson there. as you saw, their best player, I think Waddell just came down here, ball to 3, which is uncharacteristic. And these guys have been battling the whole game. You're trying to weather this storm by Nicolet right now. I may burn one just to settle them back down, just to let them know, hey, you're still in this with one possession at a time. Try to draw up something, get an easy shot, easy 3-point shot, or a drive to the basket, or get to the free throw line just to settle my guys down.
Coach Sean Sider is going to neglect to call that timeout right now, hoping they can get a point right there. And the big time seer comes up with the basket, Ryan Waddell, helping stopping that leak. 56-46, still up, down 10. Nicolet has the ball. Jalen Johnson at the top of the key.
That's a foul.
Drives off. Here comes Homestead. Circle it. Sees Ryan. Waddell kicks it out to Michael. Michael can't make the 3. Johnson with the rebound.
Those are the threes he was making in the beginning of in the first half. Nice cut by Johnson. Kobe Johnson. Kobe Johnson.
You know, Nicolet is a very unselfish team. You know, that's what makes them go. It's very contagious when you pass and share the ball, and it makes good basketball.
Very unselfish. When your best players are unselfish, it just helps the whole team becomes contagious and passing the basketball around. And here's,
you know, we talk about Johnson and Sibley, Jalen Johnson and Jamari Sibley a lot. I'm a strong believer in Nicolet goes how Kobe Johnson goes. If he's locked in and his intensity is there and he's moving that ball and he's getting into that paint and making plays, they play a lot better, man. They play a lot better.
And we have Jalen with the turnover trying to make something happen. It's a gift and a curse of having this court vision because he makes some great plays, but sometimes guys just aren't ready for those passes, or it's just not the time for it.
Substitution in for Homestead.
I don't think it's a curse. I'm going to tell you the truth. It's a gift. I think, you know, sometimes Jalen just has to understand his personnel. You know, who can I make those passes to? Who can catch those passes? Who can't? But, you know, he's a ball player, man. You just play ball. You know, he just plays ball and he makes those type of plays. You live with it, you die with it. But he's special.
That 3-point basket cuts the lead tonight. 58-49. 6:45 remaining here in the second half. Nicolet up. Timeout on the floor. Nicolet wants to talk it over. 4 timeout here. I think we have a report by Gia. She's going to give us a report. Gia, what you got?
Work on. You can see the guys, his team with their hands on their knees. However, the Knights, they're doing a fantastic job. They're keeping their tempo. They're not letting the technicals that the refs are calling because the guys are dunking bother them. They're keeping it going. So right now the score is 58-49. It's anyone's game, so we're going to have to see what happens. I'll be back with you after the end of the game with the interview from the winning coach. Until then, Giovanni here.
All right, thank you so much, Gia. And you're absolutely right. The intensity, you guys talked about it. Coach Winston, you talked about if Kobe brings the intensity, Nicolet's a totally different team. And Gia just kind of touched on the nail. Which team's going to finish this 6 minutes and 42 seconds left? Homestead's not out of the game, especially the way they shoot the ball with the 3-pointer. If you're Nicolet, you want this guy with the ball right now, Jalen Johnson, to kind of finish this game out.
I think the best thing that happened to Nicolet this year was that they went to Washington, D.C. and they lost. Because I think what it did is it brought them back down to earth. I think it put them in situations that they may not see often here in the state. And it makes you grow as a team. You have to go through all the naysayers now. You have to bond together. You got to realize it's us versus everybody else. And I think that's what helps them stretch these games out late in the second half. When you look at the Sussex game that they just played against the Sussex team who was ranked #1 in the state in Division I, and you're going to look at this game. through those trials and tribulations, it's made them tougher, and they're able to weather storms, and they're able to just play basketball when the moment is at its highest.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think you hit it on the head, Coach. That DC loss made them human again. It made them feel like, okay, we can be beat if we're not on our A game. And think about this game. This is a close game. This game here at Nicolet. They have to play Homestead again at Homestead with that crowd into it. Let's see if the Stars usually travel, but let's see if those other players for Nicolet will be able to travel and hit shots and make up big plays when they play at Homestead.
You can guarantee whoever wins or loses this game, that date will be circled, and I definitely believe that date is going to determine who is the conference champion.
And no offense to Homestead, they're not as talented as Central Templeton was on Saturday. Another steal by Jalen. And they're playing this team pretty tough. Good pass. And Sunny finishes the shot to the basket, making it 62-49. Nicolet's kind of getting ahead of them right now, putting that pressure on them. And you can tell the fatigue maybe or the talent. When you have so much talent, talent shows in a game. Overall, that talent is going to show, and Nicolet's talent is showing right now.
Yeah, I think down the stretch what happens is if you're disciplined and you can make plays, your talent tends to take it over.
And Nicolet's getting a lot of run-out players right now with that length where they can see above everybody and just throw it down court, just like an old-fashioned 3-on-2, 2-on-1 drill right now the last couple of baskets for Nicolet. They're not even really working hard for them. No offense to Homestead, but, they're not working hard for them right now.
And I want to get you guys' opinion because you both coached at two different programs. Jose, you at Kenosha St. Joe's, and you, Sean, currently at Milwaukee Tech. And this is more of a fan question. As Jalen goes up, he's fouled. These fans, and we're talking about 15, 14, 17, 18-year-old kids, they should appreciate this team this year and pack out every game because it was just a couple years ago, you didn't have this talent on the floor. I think a lot of times we take advantage. Oh, we can go to the next game. No, you're seeing one of the best teams probably in the last 5 to 10 years here at Wisconsin basketball on a high school level with high-level talent. Don't just come to the big games. Come to every game. This team is something that you won't see probably for another 5 to 15 years at Nicolet High School.
You're definitely right on that because a lot of this talent of being at one school is a dime a dozen where you had your Vincent teams, your King teams, Stevens Point, Dominican, where you had 3 or 4 guys that can play that had Division I talent. But like I said, in the city of Milwaukee right now, this might be the last time we see this for a while. In the next, like I said, 5-10 years, with these guys being so high profile, you never know what might happen where it comes to their senior year and, they go to a prep school.
And before you say something, Jose, before you chime in on that, you made a great point, Sean. We may not see this again because of the transfer rule. You named Milwaukee Vincent, Milwaukee King, and even Dominican. Those wasn't schools that teams were made by transfer.
Right.
But besides Jamari, he's the only guy that was here in Sunny. But the stars came from other schools. And I think because of the WIA, they're going to really crack down on different transfer rules where now if you transfer from a different school, it has to be a different school district or from public to private, you have to sit a year. They may go 2 years now just because I wouldn't be surprised the way the WIA works. So you're right. A team like this may not be constructed again unless those guys all go to school, come in as freshmen at one school.
The problem I have with that is just this. What did they do wrong? The parents move. There's no 15, 16, 17-year-old kid that runs their own household. If we're talking about the transfer of Jalen Johnson, Kobe Johnson, his parents moved. They got the right to transfer. They can go play for whomever they like. They chose Nicolet. So Nicolet got lucky to get arguably the #1 player in the country, and I believe arguably maybe the best Johnson if he reaches his growth spurt. The other thing is I think Wisconsin should be lucky. They should feel lucky to have this amount of talent in the state of Wisconsin. You're talking the Johnson kids, you're talking Sibling, you're talking Patrick Baldwin, you're talking Michael Foster, Deontay Long. You could just go down a whole list of guys right now that are so talented that's going to have an opportunity to play on the next level. It's special right now. We have something great right now in the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, and it's not just, in Milwaukee, it's everywhere where the talent is. Racine, Kenosha, Green Bay, up north. It's is really solid right now. This might be one of the best years of high school basketball with the amount of stars, Division I level talent, Division II. Like you said, we might not see this for a long time again, and people have to take their own agenda out of it and make it about the kids at the end of the day. That's all it's about. If that kid isn't happy somewhere or his parents move, you cannot hold that against the kid.
I think it was just, and both of you guys made great points, but I think it was just so many kids that transferred. And even one kid he couldn't play. It was Pope, the kid from New Berlin West. He was another top 50 kid in the nation. Imagine him on this squad right now. Maybe they're not losing DC. You know, and maybe they got a chance to be one of the best teams, high school teams in the country, and they still can. Maybe they're playing in the Dick Sporting high school, top 5, top 8 at the end of the year, if they had the Pope kid playing with this team too. So that's why I say the WIA, because of this team this year, maybe a lot of rules is going to be tweaked going forward, the transferring rules, unfortunately.
But it's just like when they do the multiplier rule. You know, 3 years in a row championships, and you make them move up a division. Well, I don't have that talent anymore. So now I'm going up to get punished and beat by 20 or 30 points with the talent that I just don't have. At the end of the day, it doesn't make sense. They try for a right now fix, but what about the future when teams aren't just that good?
And the game 74-57, 2:43 left here. Nicolet has a commanding point lead, but we would be doing our jobs if we don't give a big birthday shout out to our guy here sitting at the table with us, Coach Jose Winston, celebrating his birthday. We won't tell his age, but he's up there. So, Coach, we appreciate you coming out day of your birthday and coming and broadcasting. That's why we had Sean here. We didn't know Coach Winston was going to make it, but we appreciate you coming. Not skipping any days off here at work.
I appreciate that. Technically, my birthday is tomorrow, and I do know Jalen Johnson's birthday is today, and obviously he's a Sagittarius. Maybe that's why his game is the way it is. Us Sagittarius really got some game, man.
All right, well, so if you guys see Jose Winston around, we say happy birthday. We have a report from Gia, and I think she's going to get the fans into it. This is going to be loud. So, Gia, what you got for us?
Fan section, and it is super loud. I have to tell you, it's making it a big difference in tonight's game. I mean, it's so much of a difference that the coaches are relying on hand signals to relay what plays to call. As you can see, that the crowd is still hype right now. How about it, guys? I'm going to send it back over to you. It's a big one. Signing out until the end of the game, I'm Giovanni Heath with the Athlete Live.
All right, Gia, thank you so much. I can't hear, the crowd is so loud, but I'm pretty sure it was an amazing report, and this crowd has been electrified all the way from the girls' game to now to the guys' game, and that's what I'm saying. This crowd, this fan base, Nicolet, the surrounding Glendale community, should support this team no matter who you're playing on the schedule, because you may not see this in the next couple of years.
You know, we talk a lot about the more talented guys, Jalen Johnson and everything, but we sometimes leave out the fact that, yes, we have a lot of talent, but we also have a lot of very, very good basketball teams here in the state. Homestead is a very, very good basketball team that I think in the second half had too many turnovers, and they gave Nicolet too many second shot opportunities, and they were unable to win the game. You know, the biggest knock on Jalen Johnson has been his jump shot. And if he can knock down the open jump shot, if he can knock down the deep three. But I'll tell you, these last couple games, I don't know who's been working with that kid. I know he's put in a lot of work, but he can really, he's shooting the ball very, very well from the free throw line, mid-range, and from the three-point line. So, you know, he's put the work in, and as long as he continues to work, man, sky's the limit.
A timeout on the floor by Homestead here at Nicolet High School, Glendale, Wisconsin, with Nicolet up 74-60. Commanding lead with 2 minutes left, about 2 minutes from change left here in the second half. Guys, what you've been most impressed of? This is probably your third, fourth time seeing Nicolet. What are you most impressed of when you see this team, though?
The defensive pressure. It's never about offense, you know, all the times that I've seen them. It's being in the right spots, and they own up to their mistakes and accountability, and they fix it. A lot of kids nowadays, when they make a mistake, it's a shoulder shrug, a head down, or it was that guy's fault. There's a lot of accountability with this team, but it starts with the leadership at all times, you know. And they pick each other up, you know. Hey, man, next play. That's our motto, next play. But when you say next play, you have to really mean next play. Not look at the coach. You look at yourself, look at your teammates, say, all right, I'm going to get it back defensively. And that's usually what they do.
I've been impressed. They just, that length, man, it just wears on you. You know, it just wears on you the whole game. You're looking across the board. You're talking 6'7", and Henderson, 6'8", 6'9", and Sibling, 6'8", 6'9", and Johnson, 6'7", and Graham. You know, not very many high schools have that type of length with that type of athleticism and foot speed. It just it weighs on you, man. And not to mention, you know, their guards are 6 foot, 6'2", 6'3". Then when they bring the shorter guys in, the smaller guys, they're extremely quick. They have a really, really good basketball team, and they can beat you in many different ways.
They look the part of a state championship team. I cover a lot of high school football, and when you see the Menominee Falls, the Arrowhead, the Homestead football teams, the Kimberleys, when you see how big there is when they're going up against maybe a city team, you see how they can wear down their opponents. And put basketball, if you have height and you have athleticism, that's at least a combination of high school. In football in high school, if you're big up front on the line, you're going to win a lot of games in high school football because you're going to be able to run the ball, control the tempo. But right here in the basketball court, this Nicolet team on the wings, they're longer than UWO, maybe Marquette. Marquette has a couple 6'9" guys, but they don't have 6'9", 6'5" guards like how Nicolet has. So, yes, it looks like a college team when you look at this team on the basketball court.
Yeah, but it's about progression. The whole season, you got to just keep growing and keep getting better. You got to fight the temptation of believing the hype. You have to somehow continue to come in as a coach each and every day and motivate these guys and keep these guys humble. The great thing about Nicolet is that these guys really love playing with each other. And the other thing is that they're student athletes. They take care of business in the classroom first, and then they take care of business on the court. And they're great kids. They're great, great kids.
1:32 left in the game. Nicolet up 76-60. You're watching and listening to the Athlete Live on the athlete.co website, or you're watching this on YouTube. So make sure our next game is going to be December 27th at the WBY Shootout. We'll have another good one, fellas. Brookfield Central taking on Martin Lutheran. Great matchup between the backcourts of Martin Lutheran, which I was very impressed. We had their game they played against was at Milwaukee, Washington, and the Brookfield Central going up backcourt. So that should be a great game. One of the highlight games, I think, that night, Thursday night, at the WBY at the Concordia.
Now that's going to be a solid, like I said, game of backcourt of upperclassmen. And guys have been around each other for a while. And Sibley with a one-hand windmill right there. Wow.
You should not be able to hit wow with somebody under you. Whoa. Even though he missed that dunk, that was an athletic, great-looking missed dunk as he tried to windmill.
If I'm Allen Hansen right now, I'm going to get Sibley and I'm going to get Jalen up out of this game because of the rivalry right now and emotions are high. This is when kids start to get hurt. You know, you don't want to see one of them guys get pushed out the air. You don't want to see one of them guys get a technical and do something stupid. So I would definitely get those two guys out of the game. The game is over. The game is over pretty much. Yeah. Get them out the game. So that they don't get an injury or something like that.
Yeah, it only takes one roll ankle, you know, one undercut play right here, and especially like you said, it's a rivalry game, so Homestead's going to play hard to the last second, and sometimes, you know, you just got to think about it. As a young player, you want that highlight to get to your fans, but it's bigger than just this game. You're thinking March, specifically that second weekend of March. You want to be playing that second weekend of March, being one of the last teams in the state playing.
Most definitely, that's what you work for, you know, to get on 94 and get to Madison to raise that gold ball. That's, you know, opportunity that a lot of people don't get, and that's also a once-in-a-lifetime thing, you know, to get that opportunity. You know, we're having Coach Winston here, who's had about 3 chances.
I was about to say, yeah, that was It depends what team you are. You get to go up there a couple times. But they're right. But the timing has to be right. Nicolet has the opportunity that most of them juniors to go 2 in a row, just to make that appearance.
And like my old coach told me when Parkson that you have to be great at what you do and also take some luck. No matter how good you are, and we all know we play high school basketball, you can have that one bad game in the playoffs. It can all go down the drain.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think the thing about the game of basketball is that you have to attack each and every day. You got to attack each and every game like it's your last game. Any team can beat you any given night. So if you don't prepare the right way, if you don't compete the right way, you can definitely, it doesn't matter how talented you are, you can definitely lose. There's been a lot of talented teams over the last couple years in the state of Wisconsin. Probably some of the more talented teams in the state of Wisconsin did not get upstate because they just, in the playoff game, they just weren't ready. The other teams were better that night, and they went home early.
Yeah, and I think, and one team comes to mind, I hate to say this, Milwaukee Riverside at one point had four of the best players in the state. They came up short 3 years ago. I remember that game at Milwaukee. It was at West Valley Central. Played Marquette. Fell up short a little bit. That team, I think, had a great cast of 4 or 5 players. 4 Division I players on that team.
Yes.
And they didn't make it upstate. So you're right. You only get this opportunity so many times. But I think one of the great things about Nicolet is that Nicolet lost one game making it to state last year. And Jalen Johnson them lost in Madison. So they're bringing this team together. These guys are still hungry.
Yeah. And I have to admit, number 32 is my nephew for Nicolet. I just saw that spin move. Dwayne Gordon. Yeah, I'm proud of him. He came to me this year. We were working out, and I just told him, I said, hey man, here's the deal. Like, if you want to make the team, you got to make the team. I'm not going to coach Al. I'm not going to anybody to get you on the team. And I said, you got to understand your role when you're on this team. You're going to be playing with some very high-profile, very talented kids. And you're probably not going to play a lot right now. So, if you're going to be a part of that, you got to make sure you do things the right way. And I'm proud of him. He's stuck in there. He's doing great academically. And he absolutely loved playing with all of these guys. And I'm so happy for him.
At the end of the day, a lot of our kids, some doesn't go right, they quit. But if you can will it through and make it through and show that you want to be here, it's a life lesson at the end of the day. And people get basketball misconstrued if it's just a sport. It's beyond the sport. It's a lifestyle. It can make or break you with a lot of things.
2 seconds left, excuse me, man. Nicolet up 79-62. They'll get the win. That first half, though, it went both ways. You couldn't call it in that first half. You thought Nicolet was going to wear them down with that press and just the talent overall. But you got to give credit to Homestead. They played a great first half, and a good 5 to 7 minutes in the second half. But it was just, at the end of the day, it was just too much talent on the Nicolet side, which we could probably going to say that a lot going forward, how Nicolet is going to be able to wear teams down. So here from Glendale, Nicolet gets the 79-62 win over Homestead. Homestead gets their first loss on the season, dropping them to 7-1. Nicolet moves to 8-1 on the year. And fellas, I think we had a great matchup tonight. It lived up to the hype in the beginning, and we kind of thought it would when you have a rivalry game. Both teams know each other, so we saw what we expected going into this game.
Most definitely, like you said, it lived up to the expectations. Guys play hard and they competed, man. That's all you can ask for as a coach. Move on to the next game, and that's it.
I think both teams learned something. I think Homestead learned that they can play with Nicolet, right? They got to they got to take care of their keys. They can play with them. I think Nicolet learned that, at the end of the day, if they come out and they play with a motor and they play as hard as they can, they'll have an opportunity to go far in the state this year. Whether it's getting to the state championship and winning or not, but they'll have an opportunity to go very, very far.
All right, and we have Gia. She has Jalen Johnson and his brother Kobe Johnson. We're going to talk to them right now. We have Gia Hafe and Gia what do you have for both of them? Played a great game. Kobe a little foul trouble, but Gia, what do you have for us?
All right, good win, guys. Now, this is a great game. I mean, it's your all's rivals, and you guys have been terrific on defense every single time I watch you all play. Where does that philosophy come from?
That's our main thing we focus on in practice is talking, communicating, and working on our defense constantly. So for it to show off in the game is big, and just for us to keep improving, that's what we want.
Now today, obviously, was a little scrappy out there on the floor. The refs were definitely meticulous when it came to some technicals and some fouls out there. How do you keep a cool head when that happens in play?
You just got to move on to the next play. You got to forget about it and move on.
Now, moving over to Kobe, younger brother Kobe, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good.
Now, it has to be pretty awesome playing with big brother Jalen. Now, is there any teaching moments that come from playing with your older brother?
Definitely. You know, if I make a mistake, he's always there to get on me first, so it definitely helps me. You know, I just keep work. I look up to him, you know, and I just work off what he does.
He has to give you a little bit of a hard time, though, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, when you're out there on the floor, what's one thing that you look forward to most?
You know the routine now after every game.
Just playing with all my teammates, having fun out there, and just hopefully just being the team.
All right, great win tonight, fellas, and I look forward to watching you guys play this year. All right, guys, there you have it. Jalen and Kobe, 79-62, Nicolet with the victory. Signing off until next time, Giovanni Heath with the Athlete Live.
All right, thank you, Gia, so much for that. And like you said, Jalen was celebrating his birthday. We have here now Nicolet head coach Al Henson. Coach, this is one of those games you guys were coming off a big statement game this past Saturday. What did you tell your guys leading up to this game? A couple of practices you guys have, and what was the game plan coming into this game?
Well, for us, like you said, the biggest thing was not having any letdown coming off of Saturday. But even before Saturday, we already knew how important this game was for us. Having the chance to be number one in the conference at this point in the season, we couldn't think of the last time Nicolet was playing to be number one in the conference for basketball. So that was our message going into the season, was that winning the conference and pretty much just getting better each game. But our main priority is winning the conference championship.
Right. Coach, were you surprised, or did you kind of expect the way Homestead came out as a conference game? So they kind of go on you guys, different personnel, but they were able to stick with you guys that first 15 to 25 minutes of the game.
No, not for me. I mean, Sean does a great job with Homestead. They're a great group. This is pretty much since I've been here, since he's been there, it's been close games throughout the past few years. So I know how good they are. They're a real good team. They shoot the ball well. They play unselfish. So I wasn't concerned that or I wasn't too high on the fact that how good they were playing. That's who they are. They are a really good team.
Yeah, so Alan, it looks like you picked up a nice W, so now it makes you 2-3 against Homestead in your career. So when is the next matchup for you guys?
We actually have a couple weeks off until our next game. We have a conference game against, I believe, Whitefish Bay, not until after the New Year. So we've already played. What are we? 8-1, I think. So
yes,
we played 9 games in the first month of the season. So we've been having to really learn on the fly and do things like that. We finally get a chance to get some practices in and kind of get some conditioning in at the same time, but we get to relax a little bit as well.
Oh, that's good. So how has the adjustment been? Like you said, you've been playing 2 games in 3 days, then traveling and coming back and playing again, and now you have this long break, which I feel is much needed for you guys. But how do you get back on track after you get back into the groove?
Well, for us, we challenge ourselves in practice every day. Our practices are a lot tougher than our games. So, we get a chance to get some practices in. We get the chance to learn and improve on our defense. So that's the biggest thing right there. That's what we'll use over the next couple of weeks.
All right, well, Nicolet gets the 79-62 win over crosstown rival Homestead. We want to thank everybody for watching the athlete today. He had a little bit of technical difficulties, got that right. Also, this was our highest live stream game, so make sure you keep supporting us. For Craig Harden, Coach Al Henson, Jose Winston, Sean Harrison, Andre Hicks, everybody's here, Gia Health, everybody here at the athlete. Make sure you continue to watch this. Until next time, we'll be back December 27th at the WBY as Martin Luther takes on Brookfield Central. For the athlete, till next week.
athletic, I'm jumping for my dreams. I'm super magnetic, bring the championship to me. Super with exclusives, hit the link and you can see what it takes to be a top athlete. Coast to coast we going, so to come up you can see. From the court to the field to the track we can meet. Everything exclusive, straight behind the scenes. This the athlete. Athletic, I'm jumping for my dreams. Athletic, I'm jumping for my dreams. Now let's talk about the athlete. The path is like a track meet. Distractions in the crowd, you gotta master that within thee. Passion in the how, you put it down, then we'll see the difference between the others and the athlete. You must subscribe to Focus, click the link and notice. All the flyers culture, all in sports you know it. We always thinking forward to the biggest moment. Welcome to the show is the athlete. Athletic, I'm jumping for my dreams. 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 The athlete.